This is a Bulldog Radio podcast.
The Ferris State Bulldogs have upset the nation's #2 ranked team. Wide open! Taylor is going to take this one to the house! Touchdown Bulldogs!
It's the MVSP Season 4, Episode 9. It's Joe Nagy along with Brandon Worth across from me. What a show we have for you guys today. Carson Gulker from the Ferris State football team will be joining us shortly for a great interview. Can't wait to get into that. But Brandon, seasons are changing here on the Big Rapids Ferris State campus. Dude, it's going to be a good one. New sports are coming in. Old sports are coming in too. It's going to be a good time.
Can you believe we've made it to hockey already?
Dude, it's weird that we've been in school 5 weeks already.
Yeah. It's almost literally, we're over a quarter of the way through, guys. Isn't this crazy?
That's insane.
Time flies when you're having fun.
It really does.
But going to be a great show. Ferris State Sports Report. As always, we'll preview all the sports, including the new ones back in action this weekend, as well as give our analysis and picks for college football Week 5 and NFL Week 4. Going to be a great show, great interview on deck. So without further ado,
let's swing it to the interview.
Now joining us in studio, Carson Gulker, Ferris State quarterback, is here with us. Carson, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Carson, first question for you. Huge performance from you on the ground last week against Waldorf. You know, what are your first thoughts, especially that 63-point win, 69-3 final score?
I mean, for us, it was just more about, like, going into the game and seeing what we could do, not worrying about the opponent, because obviously they were an NAIA school, so we kind of knew that going into it, and we just wanted to take care of our business.
For sure.
And play our game, I guess, and not play down to the competition.
Yeah, for sure. You guys definitely took off in that second quarter, especially you with 3 rushing touchdowns alone in that quarter. Just talk about your role with a lot of these other great quarterbacks. You still got Malik, Evan, and Jesse in the room, but they're giving you opportunities at the goal line. You're taking care of business.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, Evan, last game, he did a lot of the dirty work getting us down there, and then TA put me in there at the end. So, obviously, the stats make me look good, but, I mean, there's a lot more that goes into it. Just the long drives, the rest of the offense, just – I get the easy stuff. So.
Yeah. It's a team effort, really. It's a team
yeah.
effort, really. And with Brandon mentioning Malik, I mean, he's having to set out from injury like early on in the season. Kind of what was that like for you, especially being, you know, redshirt freshman, getting the call early in the season and kind of getting pushed into a situation where you got to really, you know, be ready to perform?
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly a little bit unexpected. Against Lenore Ryan, they kind of said, like, be ready to go. I didn't really know exactly what that meant, how much playing time that was going to be. And, I mean, Malik's always there in practice helping me. He's helping everybody. He's still locked in. So just with him kind of in my ear helping me, it's been great.
For sure. Malik's that kind of guy. I mean, we had him on the show, I think, last season or something like that, and he's a great guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, for sure. And, I mean, you mentioned the great group of quarterbacks, and obviously you got a great coach. Obviously, TA, I'm sure, helps out a lot. And Coach Rock, just talk about the relationship you have with those guys and how much they've taught you, especially here. You're still in redshirt freshman season of football. Got a long way to go.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, I just love being around those guys. I mean, they're hard on you, but because they know that you can be great and they want to get the best out of you every day. So, I mean, off the field, it's just we're hanging out. And then on the field, I know that they want the best out of us. So we take their coaching out.
Absolutely. And going back to the high school days, you went to Zeeland West. That's one of the cooler rivalries in Michigan high school sports.
Yeah.
Can you kind of talk about what that's like kind of like school-wise with Zeeland East, as well as, you know, playing sports against them and kind of like sharing some facilities?
Yeah, so we actually have classes with both schools. I mean, I like my freshman year of high school, I had 3 classes at East, 3 at West, and I'd go back and forth every time. It's about a 200-yard walk. And then on Zeeland, like the game day, like you're sitting in class with East kids. Like me and the Zeeland East quarterback were actually really good friends. We grew up together. So, I mean, it's really not – it's more of a rivalry on the field than off the field.
Yeah.
Like everyone's still friends and stuff. So
for sure.
But I will say on the field, it reminds me a lot of the Grand Valley Ferris.
Yeah, I believe it.
Just like, especially like because Zeeland West's out, I was related to Ferris because Ferris is like, you know,
the blue collar and all
the blue collar, not great facilities, you know, old school, and then Grand Valley's all look at me. I always say Zeeland East is the same way, all the media attention, all the glamour, and then again, Zeeland West usually beats Zeeland East. So
yeah, you wonder why. We don't like them.
Same story, different place.
I'm seeing similarities. But, yeah, obviously playing at Zeeland West, you guys ran old school offense, wing T. Just talk about transitioning from that and now in a little bit of a different style with here with Ferris and a much more pro-style more approach as opposed to a very run-heavy offense in high school.
Yeah, I always get made fun of because they say I'm playing real quarterback now for the first time. So, I mean, I had a lot to learn. I've come a long ways from when I first got here. But, I mean, I didn't think the transition was too difficult. It was more just kind of figuring out the reads and reading defenses and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Taking that next step is always a little bit of a learning curve, but it's not too bad. Especially with the team heading to Findlay this week. They're a strong team. Record book night might show it these past couple of times there's been the meetings, but they're a team that is a good rival and is going to be really producing some great players. You know, what's been the approach for practice this week with the team trying to get ready for the big road trip?
Yeah, again, our approach is always the same. It's always about us. I mean, yeah, we scout them and what they do and what their personnel is, but we really, at the end of the day, focus on us and what we can do. So it doesn't really change week to week, I guess.
For sure.
Yeah, and you obviously had a very successful career in high school as well. And rumor has it you played on the defensive side at linebacker, not the prototypical defensive back transition for a lot of quarterbacks. Just talk about have you had conversations with Coach Hodges? Has he ever said, hey, we could use you in depth chart? I mean, it might be possible. I mean, you are a pretty big dude. I won't lie.
Yeah, Hodges, last year a little bit, he'd always joke about it, like, oh, come to the defense. You're always welcome. I mean, he's always trying to recruit people to the defense, but yeah, I mean, I'm happy on offense. I don't really necessarily miss defense. So.
Don't miss the hits or
like scoring and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's always more fun,
Yeah. What's your favorite plays? Are you more like you like to run more or you like to pass more?
I'm more comfortable running. It comes more natural, I guess, just because transitioning from the wing tee.
Yeah.
I never had to make all the pass reads, so
for sure.
I would say running for now, but.
Yeah, that ain't too bad.
Yeah. How much did you, go separate on your off time, especially coming into Ferris, did you do a lot of passing work, or has that come kind of naturally in camp and so far through your first couple years?
I mean, obviously you can throw it on air and stuff, but it really, a lot of the transitions come like in practice, throwing like Skelly against our defense, and I mean, our defense is the best in the country, so obviously playing against them every day helps a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Development there is really going to help out, and especially with traveling this week, it's always kind of a tough obstacle for teams. How do you personally kind of make sure to stay locked in, right from when you get on the bus to when the final whistle sounds at the game?
I try to stay loose pretty just any other day until like the game starts. Obviously, then you got to lock in and pregame and stuff, but I feel like for me, as long as I stay loose before the game and don't get all pent up and tight before the game, it usually helps me play better.
For sure.
Yeah. Are you a music guy? Do you like to get the beats on, lock in? Is there a specific playlist you're going to every game, or is it just kind of how you feel on that given day?
I mean, sometimes if I have my AirPods on me, I'll throw them in and throw some country music on because that's about all I listen to.
Oh, okay.
Who's your favorite country artist?
Jordan Davis, probably.
Respect.
Okay.
Respect.
I like it.
But I don't necessarily always do music. Sometimes I'm just kind of hanging out.
Yeah, just hanging out with the boys.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes being too tense actually hurts you. I've definitely learned that the hard way.
Yeah, for sure. And especially, I mean, you mentioned Coach Hodges, and we mentioned how the team's kind of more blue-collar. What's that like for you to be able to kind of embody that blue-collar Bulldogs type of mentality for the team?
I think it's more of just a toughness mentality. Like, our motto was embrace the suck because, the rubber room where we lift, it's nothing special. So that's just kind of always been the motto, like, oh, it sucks, like, just embrace it and get through it, so...
Yeah, and you just mentioned the rubber room now. Officially getting the cap in, having that nice facility downstairs. I just talk about what that means for you and the football guys because, I mean, for the last couple of years, you guys were lifting in a classroom before you came. So just talk about that transition, all the stories you've heard from going to the basement up to the rubber room and now having a really nice facility for you guys to train.
Yeah, I mean, the older guys, I never listed in the old weight room, but they just said it was just hot and sweaty and muggy. And
it was.
no one really got excited to go lift. And now, I mean, with the new one, it's like you walk in there and you look around and you're like, holy cow, like this is sweet, and everyone's excited to be there, which is I think makes a difference.
That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. And especially with the team's defense being so dominant. Sorry, I'm stumbling over here. How important is it for you knowing that, if you might have a little bit of a mistake or some on the offensive side, they're there to back you up and vice versa?
Yeah, it's a big confidence boost. I mean, there's been a lot of times this year where we put the defense in a tough spot with just bad snaps or fumbles, like back them way up, and they don't allow a touchdown from the 3-yard line. So, I mean, for offense, it just gives us a little like, oh, if we mess up, they got our back, which is nice.
For sure. That's what makes great teams, and it definitely is shown so far. One more question for you, Carson. We appreciate your time. We ask every athlete on the show, what's your favorite thing about being a Ferris State Bulldog?
I think it's the people. Like, I don't think there's a place other than here where the people are just so kind and just welcoming. So I'd say the people.
For sure. Well, Carson, thank you so much for coming on the show. Wish you the best luck with Findlay and the road trip coming up. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Once again, huge thanks to Carson for coming on the show. Got a busy week, especially with the road trip going to Findlay. We're going to hop right into the Ferris State Sports Report. Start off with football always. Going to be taking on Findlay. Obviously, like I just said, can't wait for this game. Going to be a big noon kickoff. Ferris obviously going to try to keep on the undefeated streak. Findlay was a team that kind of gave us a couple fits 2 years ago, almost upsetting us at home. But last year, when we played them, kind of rolled them over when they were at home as well. So Findlay right now is 1-3 on the season, has played Ashland, who is a ranked team, and then some other good teams as well. Have not really been having the offensive firepower like they have had these past couple years, and their defense has kind of been struggling as well. So it's going to be a good one. Finley's going to be a good test regardless of their record. It is kind of I would say it's a rivalry game. I'd say we've built up enough of a repertoire with them.
Yeah, I think there's history enough for how far back we've played them, and it's been tradition that they've been on our schedule, especially in recent memory. But yeah, Joe, just as you mentioned, this Findlay team isn't the same team as we saw a year ago, and especially 2 years ago, and they almost upset us in that opener. I almost hit that 2-point conversion on that opening Thursday night game. Boy, that doesn't it feel like so long ago? Dude,
that was our freshman year, isn't that crazy? I also meant to say rapport. I didn't say repertoire.
Rapport, yes, I know exactly what you mean. But yeah, this team, the Oilers, they have only averaged 24 points a contest so far. They're definitely a team that has been reliant heavily on their defense so far, and they've played some solid games, but really they had one breakout game offensively against Southwest Baptist 2 weeks ago. They put a 52 burger on them, but they gave up 35. So they let Ashland, who's been a much better improved football team, especially, and then Ohio Dominican and North Greenville were able to slow the tempo down against them. So I think it's going to be a game where Findlay's going to be probably trying some things. When you're 1-3, you obviously got to change something up going in against this team, just because they know what they're getting into, right? They know that their weakness is snapping the ball on the ground, and TA is going to put it on the ground, and they're going to get that running attack going. So they're going to throw some different looks at you. They're probably going to throw in some blitz schemes. They're probably going to have heavily assignment-driven secondary, as well as linebackers are going to have some very much man-to-man assignments, I'm assuming. And especially some spies possibly if they really want to try to neutralize that run game. And then again, we got so many playmakers, and that's what makes this offense so lethal, especially on the outsides. We can see a lot of the receivers get involved as they allow 240 passing yards a game. So this could be a big game for Tyrese, big game for the X-Man, be a big game for Marcus Taylor, CJ Jefferson,
Childress, all those guys.
There's five receivers.
There's five receivers who can really do some damage, and they're a pretty rushing-heavy team, which is going to be good for our guys up front, like O'Leary, like Jordan and Caleb and stuff like that. I don't think that they're going to have a lot of success on that, seeing that we are able to penetrate the line very fast and very quickly. It's not going to give them a lot of time, and not really a lot of teams Waldorf obviously wasn't really a team that could do too much on the front line, but
they were just very small.
I think their biggest guy was like 6'1" or something like that, and maybe 300, maybe 250, 260 or something like that. I can't remember the exacts, but they're a very small offensive line. But you toss back to Lenore Ryan, they didn't have a lot of rushing opportunities. You toss back to Central Washington, they didn't have a lot of rushing opportunities. They kind of had to let the ball get aired out a little bit. So I think if you really shut down their rushing, they're going to have to try to switch up the playbook, and they're not the best passing offense, and we have one of the best passing defenses in the country. So expect some dominance, I feel like, from the defense, which is something that we always expect, but especially with our offense, expect there to be a lot of passing. Expect the big first play of the game like we've seen these past 3 games, which is something that I love. But, yeah, we're probably going to run it down their throats and then probably toss the football around too.
Yeah, and this team does one thing very well. They're very disciplined. They don't give the football up too much.
Not a lot of turnovers.
No, not a lot of turnovers. I think 3 total throughout this whole season. And our team is very turnover heavy.
Susceptible to that.
Yeah, so I think with our defense, our offense has here, yeah, right, Joe, we have given the tendencies sometimes to put the football on the turf. And it's not a terrible thing when we got such a great defense, but those are the things you're going to be looking forward to get
Still
back to McKinney.
Don't want it to happen.
You can't let turnovers happen because that's derailed us too many times in that department. But they're going to clean it up, I'm sure, and we're really confident in this team going through. And it's going to be a great rivalry against Findlay, and hopefully come out with a W on Saturday. It's going to be good. 1 o'clock kickoff. Coverage will be on Sunny 97.3. Rob and Sandy on the call. Also, shout out to Rob Bentley. Happy birthday.
It's Bentley's birthday today?
It is technically as Thursday.
Oh,
today
okay,
we're
so-
recording, so it'll be happy belated birthday
I'll have
when
to
this
shoot him a
episode
text.
comes out. So yes, say wish
I didn't
happy
even know
birthday
that.
to the voice of the Bulldogs for sure. And I'm sure they would love to give him a belated birthday present in a dominant W. Those are always the fun ones.
Yeah, those are always the fun
Wins
ones.
on your birthdays? Come on. Nothing gets better than
it
that.
is the best.
For
And
sure.
especially on a road one, that's going to be good too.
Yes, but some big slate of games this week, Joe, and the
Whole
GLIAC
bunch, man.
scoreboard, man. What we
Whole
got?
bunch. Hold up. I messed up and did not pull that up on my old computer, so give me
no.
don't even worry about it.
Dude.
We'll fill the air real quick.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to see, especially seeing that, I mean, Grand Valley's going to have a pretty good showing out. I forget who they're playing, but it's going to be a good game. I'm excited to see what Michigan Tech's going to be able to do, and especially with Saginaw Valley, who they're going to be able to have for preparation for us coming in pretty soon. Hold up, got to scroll down really far. All right, game time, Saturday, October 1, 2022 at noon. Michigan Tech is going to be taking on Davenport in a the first non-conference matchup between the two in Grand Rapids at Davenport. Northern Michigan is taking on Wayne State in their first non-conference matchup, and Saginaw Valley is going to be taking on Grand Valley in their first non-conference matchup. So,
Sneaky game.
dude, Battle of the Valleys.
Sneaky.
It's going to be pretty sick.
Is that
Actually,
Saginaw? Or is it at
I
GD?
It's at Saginaw.
Sneaky game.
Maybe.
Sneaky game. I don't know. But
That one could go either way, really. I'm
This will be-
interested to see.
This will be the true test of these two teams. Who's the legit contender? Because we've seen GV so far this season
We've seen GV
have a couple
kinda
scares,
stumble.
but Saginaw's been on a hot tear. They just started off lower. So this is-
Saginaw's offense is just nasty.
Yeah,
like, they've been killing it on the offensive side.
They have. So that's going to be a super fun game to tune into. I'll definitely be looking back, and we'll get you all that recap on Tuesday
That's gonna be cool.
Wednesday's episode. So make sure you subscribe for that as well as our YouTube channel so you can catch all the best bits of the show.
I apologize. I made a mistake. This is
What?
Michigan Tech and Davenport are playing for actual GLIAC
Oh,
because
okay.
they faced off last week. I think?
Yeah, Davenport always has. They're really notorious of filling a schedule with a GLIAC team for a non-conference selection. Like
we did
that's
that with
kind of
Wayne
weird.
State last year. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was really. Or I thought it was Davenport last year. We
Was it
played twice.
Davenport?
I think we played Davenport twice because we
It
went
might
there
have
and then
been.
we came back
I
home.
can't remember.
But I think it was Davenport. Well, they've been notorious of doing that, and that's their thing. I'm not judging them at all, but
Ain't no judgment here.
yeah, Davenport doesn't look at playing a lot of the other non-conference teams. They want to see a look of the other teams, so it's gonna be fun. But anyway, moving on over now, we got volleyball in action at home this
Can't
weekend.
wait to do stats for that.
Oh, it's gonna be fun.
Gonna be making that money.
Making money. Joe gets big bands from this job.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah, of course, minimum wage for
I
athletics.
get little ones. No, I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. Northern Michigan coming to town as well as Michigan Tech, so they'll return the favor of the long trip. And I mean, right now coming off of a split weekend, end up beating Saginaw Valley to cap off after a tough loss against a good Davenport team. But I mean, you look at these teams coming in. I mean, we saw that we swept them up there, and they're going to be coming out with a vengeance. We know that for a fact. And especially when standings are concerned, it's us and Northern at the top, 6-1 right now, and that's going to be the biggest match of the weekend, no hands down. So that's going to be a really good contest for sure. I mean, Northern Michigan comes in as pretty much statistically one of the underrated teams, honestly, in the region right now. So I think that you're going to see a lot of firepowered offense for sure. But Northern's a very clean team. They've really done a great job of limiting opposing offenses. So we'll see how this game really goes about. I wish I'd be on the call for this one. I'll be unfortunately on a bus to Kentucky, which we'll get to that later. But I mean, right now, coming off of a little bit of vengeance, I think is what this team really is looking for after that last weekend. But I think this is a prime opportunity here. And I mean, you look at a lot of the great offensive performances we've had. We've shown we can beat them. Then I think that Northern Michigan's going to throw the kitchen sink at us. I mean, they got a lot of great players on their side, especially Jacqueline Smith, who's one of the best outside hitters in the GLIAC, arguably, as well as I believe it was Meyer. Yeah, Megan Meyer is one that I remember from last year that played really well. I think it was the last game in Engelgleben in the basement. So those will be some notable team members that you watch out for Northern. But I mean, for Ferris, we got all the firepower we need with Cyan Fairfield, with Olivia Hammond Dolape, with Claire Nowicki, Chelsea Freeman, Emmy Bleacher. So they're going to get a
We
lot of
got depth,
rotation. So
man.
the depth is untouchable. It's
Yeah.
what makes good teams great.
You know what I'm excited for this weekend?
What's that?
Us being home. Bulldog Bistro.
Bulldog Bistro.
Brutus's Bistro, whatever it's called.
I think it's
Nice little
Bulldog
pulled
Bistro.
pork Sammy.
You want a Sammy right now?
A little pulled pork Sammy while I go call the volleyball game for stats.
Yeah,
That'd be sick.
that would be sick.
Munch on a nice little sandwich.
Yeah,
Hey, not bad.
it won't be bad. I'll tell you.
Unless Athletics gets us pizza, then I'll have to kind of switch it up between that.
Yeah, I might have to. Did you know? I learned this the other day that you
What?
can use meal exchange. You can
At
use
Domino's?
swipes. At Bulldog Bistro,
Oh,
not
sick.
at Domino's.
I was gonna
that
say
would
at
be
Domino's. I would eat.
That
I
would
would
be
Somebody say
clutch.
Domino's?
Oh man, I could go for a Memphis barbecue pizza right now. That's beyond the
Pretty
point.
clutch.
But yes, volleyball is in action, of course. A lot of great matchups coming up this weekend. It'll start off Friday
W's is what I'm
against
hearing.
Northern. That's a 7 o'clock first serve, as well as
gonna be a late
Michigan
one.
Tech, 3 o'clock on Saturday, set for first serve.
I
You
don't
can
know if I'm
follow
gonna
that
make that
along.
Michigan Tech one.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit later, but I mean, hey,
Well, I'll be
it's-
live tweeting for football.
yeah, you will. So it's going to be a busy day
Ryan
for
might
you.
have to take over.
Yeah, so should be fun for sure. One sport coming back, hockey is
Big time hockey.
coming
Cannot
back.
wait.
Can you believe
Big
it?
hockey guy I am.
You are a big hockey guy, Joe, and I mean
Cannot wait.
Miami of Ohio.
Taking
host-
on the Red Hawks.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. We had some success against these teams in the last 2 seasons, Joe. And I mean, certainly seems like right now things are on the up and up from what I'm hearing buzz around as
Mhm.
far as early season practices. And I mean, you've
We
told me a
look
couple
pretty
times
good.
this team it might
we
be
look
legit.
pretty good. I mean, especially talking to Harrison Watt. Shout out Harrison. Love the guy. Avid listener of the podcast, too. Did not know that
Wow.
for a little bit until he kept texting us stuff about our episodes. Love to see it.
Yeah, we
But
like
talking to
feedback.
Harrison, he's very excited for this team. I'm really excited for it as well, seeing that we do have a full off season for the first time in a while. Miami's a really cool school to go to. They're a good team that we've had a storied history against. Last year didn't have the greatest seasons. I'd say they were 7-27 overall. So that's only a 222 win percentage. Not the greatest. They are in one of the tougher conferences in Division I college hockey with the NCHC. I mean, you had North Dakota, Denver, and Minnesota, Duluth, and St. Cloud State in it, who I don't think St. Cloud State made the playoffs, but Minnesota, Duluth, North Dakota, and what was I going to say? Denver are all usually people who are going to
Yeah.
I mean, Denver was national champions last year. So there's going to be, and they're still, I mean, North Dakota and Denver are also favorites to win the whole thing this year. So they're going to have a tough season anyways, but to start the season, they're going to have to make it through us first, which I think is going to be a good one. Cannot wait to see what Logan's going to be able to do this year. I think, especially with a more mature defense, I think we'll be able to step it up a little bit and kind of not have to leave them out to dry so many times, which will be good. But I'm excited to see what this team has to offer.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, you look back at a lot of the we did lose some crucial pieces last year, some upperclassmen, but we gained a lot of experience,
fellas.
especially on the defensive side. I mean, we got Matt Slick comes in at defense. He's going to be probably a guy that you're going to see up in the higher lines from Holy Cross. He's going to be making his debut as a Bulldog this weekend, as well as a couple other guys that have filed their way in and still have played quite a few hockey games so far under their belt. So I think it's going to be really fun to see this new team and a really much more experienced team, as you mentioned, Joe, especially defensively with a couple transfers coming in. And we got guys like Brendan McLaren, as well as Drew Cooper and Luke Farthing, Brendan Roans, Ben Schulteis, all those guys now in their junior, senior years. They're geared up, ready to go, as well as some of those transfers coming in like Travis Schutte, Andrew Noel, freshmen as well. So I think you look really at what this team did last year. We saw the glimpses offensively. Defensively certainly was a concern, but I mean, it's really hard to analyze what this team was. Besides, they were one of the best teams in the entire CCHA until the third period.
That is true.
I mean, it was just
If you
tough.
ended our season like 10 minutes, or not even 10 minutes, like 5 minutes in the third period, we would have had like 20 wins.
Yeah, we would have.
But
It's
after
true.
that, we kind of fell apart, which
Yeah.
I mean sucks. But
Yeah.
I think we'll be able to figure it out. Like, I mean, because last year we got COVID. Like, what was it, 3 weeks before the season started or something?
Yeah,
like
that is true. We lost
like,
a lot of
a
guys.
lot of
early
the
on.
conditioning out the door after that. You can't really come back after that, which, I mean, made sense because there's a lot of times where we just seemed really slow. It was like we would be in control first and second period, and then we just step off the gas a little bit. We just want to be in the driver's seat anymore.
Yeah, for sure. And I think our offense is going to be even better this year. I mean, you got Bradley Merrick, the standout freshman, will be certainly leading the lines up front, as well as Stepan Pokorny, who's always in the big game play mode, always. And you got a lot of other great scorers across the board, as well as Logan Stein and Noah Giesbrecht between the posts. So, I mean, this is a much deeper, much more experienced team than a year ago. So we expect a lot of great things out of this team. And, I mean, really last year's record, I think, is just a shell of what you saw from that team last year. They just put it together for 3 periods. I mean, you're talking a much more successful year, especially in the win category. And, I mean, really, it's just going to be we're going to play fast. That's for sure. We got a lot of speed. So obviously dump and run will definitely be in the playbook. But, I mean, we can play some crisp hockey. We can play with everybody any given day. We've proven that. So just got to go out on the ice and prove it this weekend and start from there.
Just got to do it.
Yeah. That's all you got to do. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Get after it.
Yeah. That's all you got to do.
What do you think score prediction is going to be this weekend?
Oof, man. I don't know.
Say 5-3 the first night.
Yeah.
4-3 the second night.
Oh, okay.
2 dubs.
I'll take a 4-2 and then a 2-1. I think I think it will be a heavy game plans early on from both coaches, but that'll be interesting. So there's your score predictions, which I also got sweep for women's volleyball. I'm calling it right now.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah, 6-0.
Sweep.
6-0. Come out with fire.
I respect that.
They're hungry. They're hungry, man.
It.
Chance for the top of the North in the GLIAC Conference. Come on. Anyway, women's soccer is also in action this weekend. It's going to be, unfortunately for them, they'll be on the road, but they'll be taking on some pretty tough games. Saginaw Valley State will be the game at home on Friday, and then they'll actually be home on Monday, and that's going to be the last of the home games here for a while. They won't return home until I think it's October 21st. Yeah, after this weekend.
Week before Halloween.
Yeah, so Friday and Monday. Yes, Monday, not Sunday. It was a rescheduled game that was originally delayed against Northwood. So that one will be at 4 o'clock on Monday for those that are interested in that game. But, I mean, 2 talented teams, you could say for sure. I mean, we're coming off of pretty solid performances. I mean, obviously, we would have liked to see better. And hopefully that sparked a fire in this week's practices, and we can see a really good team and a really good outing overall this weekend. Coach Greg, I know we've heard him say it many times, you love to come out with 4, but your goal is to get out with 6. So that's going to be the main goal going into this week. And these are 2 teams that we can beat. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So Saginaw is 1 behind us right now in the standings, and overall have 1 more win than us overall, but I don't think that makes them as clarified the better team overall. But I think this is going to be a test for us, especially when we come into this game knowing that we had a little bit of a poor performance last week. But, I mean, we know that we have chances. It's just capitalize. You know what they got to do, Joe?
Probably capitalize.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Just kind of finish. I mean, last week had a lot of set pieces, had that kind of going for us, and a lot of shots on goal. But I think just quality over quantity. I mean, not even quantity, like just quality in general is going to be the main thing, because we went 1 for 8 on set pieces, or at least for 1 for 8 on corners, which is not
something like that. Yeah,
not the best. Not the best proficiency that you want to see, or not the best efficiency or anything like that. But, I mean, if you get into it, it's still going to be fine. I think if we just keep the offense, rolling and just keep that pressure, it's going to go in. And, if you just get enough in there, at least one's going to squeak by. And our defense is going to be able to step it up, too. I mean, we held both teams last week to a shutout. And, they're not the greatest teams, but if you look back, we also held Michigan Tech to a shutout.
Yeah.
Who's a better team in the GLIAC. So, Saginaw Valley State, they're going to be coming, they're coming to town, right?
Yeah. Home this weekend. Double.
Yeah, I thought you said 1 away, 1 home, and I
was looking forward a week. I apologize.
Yeah, ain't no problem.
I was looking forward to Purdue and Parkside, which we will play again very soon. So
yeah, I can't wait for that.
Quick turn against them, so that's going to be
sick.
Fun for them. So this is a momentum swing, right?
Can't wait to go from soccer to volleyball.
Back to back to back to back to back to back.
Mm-hmm.
It's how it goes sometimes, man.
That's usually how it goes. But I'm excited for it. Going to be a good game. Hopefully the offense can stay rolling.
Yeah, as we always say in the cross-country award, one of our sayings for workouts, bring your lunch pail. Going to be a long day's worth of work, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, you guys will be doing all my work because I'll be on a bus, which, speaking of which, heading to Louisville this weekend, cross-country is, as well as Lansing. We'll have 2 split squads, men's and women's. One set will be going to Lansing, while the other 2 sets will be going to Louisville. And, I mean, this is the one we look forward to every year. Fastest course in the country, arguably across Division 1, 2, 3, 4, all over the world. And it's one of those courses where everyone's going to be on their A game. It's a big weekend with a lot at stake. A lot of big teams will be taking on the course to run some really fast times. And I think it's just going to be one of those where it's going to be a lot of adjusting for some teams, especially just the fact because you got all that travel. And, I mean, for us, it's going to be a 7-hour ride on the buses, or not the buses, the vans. So I think it's going to be super fun. I mean, it's a firm, fast course. There's not much elevation change at all. It's pretty much flat of a pancake as you can get, but there's definitely a couple hills that you can gain momentum, but they're not hills. They're just rolling inclines and declines. So it's going to be quick. It's going to be fast. You're going to see a lot of PRs on every team. And it's just one of the fastest courses in the country, and that's why we run it every year. Going to take on D1 teams. There's going to be plenty of them. Louisville, Kentucky. There will be maybe even some Big Ten teams that have been there in years past, like Wisconsin. So
that's cool.
You're going to see fast teams all across the board in all the races, and it's just going to be a great test of where you can really, frankly, go balls to the wall on a field here for 28 minutes, maybe even less, depending on where everybody's at. But a lot of PRs will be broken this weekend there. Lansing will also be a really nice course as well. A little bit more of a statewide meet rather than national for all our other second teamers. But that's a good race too. You can run the fast times there as well. We've seen a lot of those in years past. I think a little bit more elevation change, a couple more hills on the Lansing course, a lot more grittier. But it's still going to be firm. It's still going to be fast, assuming that everything lines up as far as weather-wise, which it seems to be after having such a cold week of preparation so far. It's now starting to warm up here at the end of the week. So hopefully that carries over tomorrow, especially around 1 o'clock when men's and women's will take off there, and hopefully travels to Louisville as well and give us some nice weather to run our fastest.
How do you stay loose? Like when you have like a 7-hour car ride, like you guys like take stops every once in a while, or just go right through? Yeah, we'll take a stop. We'll get lunch and move around, walk around, or do something as well. And we'll get to Louisville probably tomorrow. We'll do a run on the course, do a little bit of a loop preview, and then we'll go out and finish our regular run, do all of our strides and piles and stuff like that, and keep it loose in the hotel room. Nice. Yeah, so it'll be fun. We'll probably go get some pasta delivered to the hotel, so that's always fun. You gotta eat pasta the day before.
Yeah, carb load, Michael Scott style. You just churn it at the start line.
Probably not fettuccine Alfredo.
Fettuccine Alfredo? Yeah, that sounds actually kind of good, not going to lie. But no, we do not do that. If anybody is curious about that.
Not right before the race, but before the race. Right? Or like not right before, but the day before, right?
Yes, correct. But I think there is science that actually you're supposed to eat better 2 days before more than 1 day before. And that's actually a Brennan Kearney rule. So you can check out that episode. Quick little plug there in the feed below. So had a good conversation with him as one of my roommates and teammates. He's looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to this weekend.
I'm even looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, Joe's even looking forward to this weekend. I mean, it's fast, man. I can't describe it. Literally freshman year when we went there, which was its first time, I think, I'll be fully healthy going into this race for the first time since freshman year. Last year, I was coming right off of COVID, so that sucked. I'll tell you that. And I ran really slow, and that was really disappointing.
Basically,
the conditions were perfect.
Brandon's ready to make some noise, is all I'm saying. Brandon's ready to get after it.
The dogs are ready to make some noise,
Dogs are running, man.
We got guys that are going to, I think, surprise some people.
Brandon's going to win this whole thing. He doesn't want to say it, but Brandon's going to win the whole thing.
No.
I believe in you, Brandon. You just got to sprint the whole way.
Yeah, there's Olympians that might run in the future Olympians that'll run this race. Yes.
Okay, well.
Potentially, yes.
Disregard what I said. Brandon might not be able to beat Olympians, but he's going to still kick some butt out there.
Oh, you know that for a fact, Joe. You know that for a fact. Anyway, finishing up Ferris State Sports Report. golf will be in action this weekend as well. At the end of the weekend, tail end, you should say.
Yes, sir.
And they're going to be in Findlay, the women, and the men will be at Tiffin, two former GLIAC competitors in the Bing Beal Fall Classic and the Kyle Ryman Memorial. The women's played really well last week. Men's had a really good outing 2 weeks before. Playing really crisp. The weather wasn't perfect. Obviously, hopefully, it's beautiful all across the Midwest this weekend for all of our Ferris competitions to
Weather's not looking too good down south, I'll tell you that much.
No, that is unfortunate. So prayers out to everybody for Hurricane Ian. That's a tough situation.
Did you see, there was a video I saw of a lady who was like sitting like in an inflatable pool like in her living room to stay like dry because like in her living room like it flooded like by like 4 feet or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of like, it reminds me of Hurricane Katrina with how much damage is going down.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It ain't good.
But I don't know. Very interesting. But anyway, that's going to do it for the Fair State Sports Report. When we come back, college football picks, NFL picks. Rumor has it I beat Joe this week. Stay tuned. The MBSP is proud to partner with the people of Eagle Village Incorporated. With over 50 years of experience helping and changing the lives of youth, there are opportunities for you to be the next to make a direct impact, including plenty of positions available, including summer staff, internships, and more. For more information, visit eaglevillage.org. Eagle Village, where potential soars.
Now come back from the quick little break in the middle of the show. Going to be talking about some college football now. NCAA is in action. A lot of ranked games coming up. 2 ranked opponents coming into town as well. There's a lot of them. Brandon, not going to lie. There's a couple of good ones. One thing I'm looking forward to is Oklahoma State Baylor's playing this weekend. NC State versus Clemson, a top 10 matchup. That one's going to be really good. Oregon versus Stanford, not a ranked matchup, but still a pretty storied rivalry regardless that I'm looking forward to. But there's a lot of them, Brandon.
Yeah, there is a lot of them, especially as we start out conference play. And, there's going to be so many great games on deck this weekend, especially for our teams in the state as well. A lot of great games on deck. Michigan going to be traveling to Iowa City to take on the Hawkeyes. That should be a pretty fun one. I'm really liking what we're seeing from Blake Corum. We'll see if they can
pound it. I'm
really
loving how Iowa is not, even though Iowa's 3-1, they're not looking too hot.
No, they're not a top 25 team at all, per se. Even with the 3-1 record, I think they're still probably maybe a top 40 or 50 team you'd put in there, just because their offense doesn't do much. That's their problem. Defensively, they're fantastic. They're going to give up. They've literally given up under 10 points a game. 10 or less points a game all year. How have you lost a game? You won 7-3, you lost 10-7, you won 27-0, and then 27-10. Granted, the last 2 games were against Nevada and Rutgers. So I'm not too worried as a Michigan fan. You can knock on wood, and I'll bite it if they end up losing this game somehow. I don't see it happening. Even if they do shut down Blake Corum, J.J. McCarthy could have a field day on this team. I think that he's going to be able to throw, and I think we're going to have...
That dual threat is really going to kill him.
Yeah, I think it's going to kill him. So, and our defense is a lot more underrated than I think people are giving credit for. So I like the Wolverines. I think the line's set at 11. I think on the road, I think it'll be a 1 to 2 scores somewhere in the 7 to 14 range as far as deficit is concerned. But no, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a great weekend for Michigan fans. I think this is the first matchup since that Big Ten championship a year ago, and I'm sure Iowa's gonna probably have the score on the locker room and they're ready to go. And look at it every morning when I wake up. I do 100,000 push-ups, so we'll let it happen again. But I think they are gonna let it happen again. I think Michigan's gonna take care of business.
That one's gonna be a pretty good one. One that I'm looking forward to is Kentucky versus Ole Miss. It's not too much of a rivalry game by any means, but it's still 2 pretty good middle of the road teams. Ole Miss is looking pretty solid. Same with Kentucky. Ole Miss is coming off a pretty solid 35-27 win against Tulsa. Maybe not as much as they wanted to. Tulsa is unranked, but their offense does look to be pretty good, even without Matt Corral and him going to the NFL last season. I'm looking forward to it. Kentucky is is higher ranked than them at 7, but I think still you're going to see a pretty solid offensive heavy game.
Yeah, Quinshawn Judkins, for Ole Miss, their running back, has played phenomenal this year. 70
Only
carries.
One game that Kentucky hasn't scored 30 points or more.
That is true. And I think that they're criminally underranking Kentucky right now as far as they're picking Ole Miss to win by 7. It is a home game for them. I do understand that, but this Kentucky offense...
I don't know, though. SEC homes, dude.
Is lethal.
Kentucky's not an SEC team. They're what, an ACC team?
No, they're an SEC team.
They're SEC?
I'm pretty sure. Are they not? I'm pretty
Let
sure they
us
are.
figure this
Yeah,
out.
they're
They
SEC.
are.
Yeah.
Dang. I would have never guessed.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be a fun game. Will Levis is balling. He's going to be trying to prove his draft stock throughout this season. They're scoring 31 points a game. Ole Miss is averaging 41. But the true test of this game, Ole Miss defense. Are they going to contain Will Levis's arm and force him to put it on the ground where they do struggle at times? So that'll be very interesting with this one.
Yeah, and I think the big question on everybody's mind moving past that game is, why isn't Kansas ranked?
Why isn't Kansas
Why is
ranked?
not?
They are a
disrespect to
football
Kansas-
school.
They're a football school team. They're a football team now. Or a football school now.
Oh, my God.
Dude, that was like, I'm just going to say it. Like, they deserve to be at least in the top 20. They're looking pretty solid.
What? Okay.
I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Stop drinking the Kool-Aid.
No,
here,
it's
man.
not even
20.
the Kool-Aid, brother. It's
20.
yes.
No.
Kansas is looking
Maybe
real
25.
good. Kansas is looking real good.
Could they beat Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Sure. But does that qualify them to be 19?
Yes.
Are you gonna put them?
I'd say
are you gonna say
20.
they're as good as Baylor?
No, but I'd say top 20.
Oh, they're 16.
I'd say you put them in the top 20.
Top
Did I say
20.
put them in the top 16th? No, I said put them in the top 20. So that means put them at 20.
Okay. I guess. Would you have them
Kansas
over
has been
Oklahoma?
selling out crowds.
Over Oklahoma?
Oklahoma is criminally underrated right now. Let's
Okay.
just be honest. They
They're-
should be in the top 10.
They're 2 spots out of top 22. so-
Oklahoma should be in the top 10. So that's not even a conversation.
What in the world? Okay, we're going off the rails with rankings
Oklahoma
now.
is a very. Once I got Spencer Rattler out of there, that's a toxic situation he was leaving. But he just doesn't
here
know
we
that
go
he
again.
is a toxic situation. And Lincoln Riley was never in it for the long haul. If he's gonna leave for a bit of cash, that ain't. It's the guys who want to be at Oklahoma right now.
They should have
They should be in the top 10.
They should have made the Panhandle Highway named after him.
Probably should have.
He's on the way out anyway. So, oh no, that's a funny part of that whole scenario. But hey, if you got hot takes, you got hot takes. Kansas a top 20 team. All right, I guess if that's the way that you see them, that's the way you see them. So, some other good games. I mean, NC State.
When you roll Duke like that, I mean, might as well. They play TCU this weekend.
That's true. They do play TCU this weekend. We also have a couple good games as far as like outside in the Big Ten too, not just the top 25 altogether, but just solely in the Big Ten conference. I mean, this has got to be the weekend that Michigan State shows up, or they're gonna be 2-3 because Maryland's a good offense.
Yeah,
they're good offense. They
You gotta get off
they
the
were
pot,
giving
really.
Michigan fits last week.
yeah.
I'd be scared.
Because what? Minnesota beat them, right? Last weekend?
Minnesota beat Michigan State, yeah.
Yeah,
Handily.
34-7.
Handily.
So Michigan State's really got to figure something out because right now it does not look like Mel Tucker has Jim Harbaugh's number on speed dial right now
No.
from what all the Michigan State fans are saying. And I'll be honest, Michigan State, when you don't have Kenneth Walker to bail you out, you're kind of understanding why everybody was saying that Kenneth Walker made your team last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason really that they won. Because who are they playing, you said? This weekend?
Maryland. Playing
Yeah,
Tua's little brother.
They're going to get beat.
Oh,
They're gonna
coming
get
in
beat.
hot. I still have a little bit of faith, but
I don't.
they don't win this week. I think you scratch
It's
it, right?
at Maryland, though.
You scratch it.
Because if you get upset by Minnesota, who is lower ranked than you, to start the season, and a lot of people said that you're going to beat them because they upset you at home. They held you to 1 touchdown at home. Then you're going to go to Maryland, who put up a really good fight against a way better Michigan team. Maryland's going to smack them. It's going to be like a 2-touchdown difference.
Oh, boy. Okay. There's Joe's hot take of the day.
That's not even a hot take. That's a cold take. That's fresh out the freezer.
What?
That's not a cold take.
Cold take?
Michigan State sucks this year, straight up.
Oh, man. They aren't looking
No
good.
fooling.
I'll tell you that. So they better figure it out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Anyways, some other good games.
Totally is going to dice them up. That's
yeah.
what I'm gonna say.
Yeah, he probably will. Oklahoma State, Baylor. I think Baylor
That'll
wins
get a
at
good
home.
game.
I think it's going to be fun. I mean, you're going to see Spencer Sanders, I think, have a good game for the Cowboys. But Baylor's still got a really lethal offense, too. Their defense is also legit. I think they're going to keep this one more in their tempo at Waco, so that's going to be a fun game for
I
sure.
know, man. Mike Gundy. He's been with that team for a long time.
Gundy. He's coming. He's
Come
coming in
after
hot.
me. I'm a man. I'm 40.
I'm 40. I'm not a kid. That's why I don't read the
Regardless, though,
newspapers.
even though we're
'cause it's
making fun of him, he is a great coach.
He is a
and,
great
and that
coach.
speech too really said a lot about him too.
Oh,
That's a good
no.
thing.
I love his character.
I'm gonna go the opposite way. I think Oklahoma State's gonna stay undefeated.
Okay. You're just mad because I called you out for that take. That's all.
me. Don't even.
Anyway.
If you lose to BYU, Baylor's a fake team.
It's one game, though.
Yeah, but BYU's not as good as Oklahoma State, so
Eh,
we will say that.
agree to disagree.
Yeah. I
Anyway.
agree that you're wrong.
No. You're going to pick Arkansas over Alabama. Please do right now so
No,
we can know
Alabama's
exactly.
gonna roll it. Alabama's gonna win.
No, so
It's
now,
pretty
okay.
clear.
Now you're going off my paperwork. I see what
Oh
you're
my
doing.
gosh!
Oh my
don't
god.
even-
I'm
Yeah,
just
I
kidding.
might be the one for the upset, but I'm not an idiot.
Okay. Arkansas gonna be taking on Alabama at Arkansas. That might be a sneaky game. Upset alert.
No,
Ooh, we'll see.
Alabama's gonna go in
Yeah.
35-14 win probably.
Oh, okay. And then probably one more to mention. Wake Forest traveling to Florida State, 22
That would be a good one.
23. That's a good
Whoever
one.
loses is out of the top 25. A lot of stakes on this one.
And Kansas is strolling right in, according to Joe Nagy.
Yep,
'Cause
exactly.
They're going to be 5-0,
That's
right?
not even
Who's Kansas playing this week?
They're playing. Hold up, I just checked it. Hold up, they are playing TCU.
Oh my gosh, they're going to lose that game.
No,
Right?
not a shot. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
No shot at all. But
Oh
still,
my
I think Wake
gosh.
Forest can do pretty well.
Yeah,
I think they're probably gonna win this one.
I do also like Wake Forest in this one. On the road, they've already been through the thick of it. I think it's a very quality football program. Anyway, those are some games. It's going to be fun to watch that college slate. But going into our picks now, NFL Week 4.
Not the best from me.
Yeah,
not
according to
gonna
the
lie.
tally, your boys got 2 in a row now.
Brandon's got two weeks to my one.
And
I
I'm
went 5 for
feeling it.
16 last week. He
Yeah.
went 8 for 16.
Ha ha. 50-50.
Batting 500 for Brandon there.
Woo!
Not the best look from me.
Hey, I'll take batting 500.
I will do better. I need to do better.
You need to do better, and that's right.
'Cause What is that? What's 5 for 16? What is that, like 30? 5 for 16 is like 20. I'm trying to think of math in my head. That's like a 20%. That's like a 20%.
20? No, that'd be like 3.
Well, because
3,
5 to 15 is whatever, 15. I'm trying to do quick math in my head, and I can't do it.
No, it's like, I'm pretty sure it's like 30. I'll do it. 31.
I don't even know what it is.
31.25.
Well,
to be
I'm batting
exact.
310 then.
You're still batting
310 ain't
310. I'm still happy
Could be
to bat
worse.
500.
bad. All right,
But
anyways.
all
Let's
starts.
get in this week.
It all starts Thursday night. Dolphins at Bengals.
How about the Dolphins, eh?
How about the Dolphins?
Dolphins going to win this one.
Yeah, okay. How much?
Probably 21 to, I think it's going to be a pretty good like offensive game. I'm going to switch it up. 27 to 21.
Okay. I'm really liking the fact that the Bengals are at home here. Win probability is actually drastically shifted to the Bengals, which
Really?
is very interesting. Yeah, it's
I
like,
don't know. Dolphins
like
win.
64
Dolphins beat
the Bills, yeah.
the Bills last week, and the Bills are a lot better than
Yeah, but it could be a trap game. That's what they're
maybe,
saying. So,
maybe.
and I think this might actually turn into a trap game. I'm not sure. I don't like the fact that that Joe Mixon's been banged up. I think that his status might determine my outcome in this game.
Who you thinking?
But I think I'm going to let me see here. Joe Mixon is off the report. Screw it. Give me the Bengals. 27-24 in the upset. Dolphins can't stay undefeated forever. Why not lose to the NFC or AFC champs from a year ago
Might as well.
that have now found themselves more last week in their first win of the season. So give me the Bengals in an
Respect.
upset to play contrarian. So
Next one.
Minnesota, New Orleans. This one going to be at the Superdome. As for now, we'll see. Obviously, with Hurricane Ian, I'm sure that there will be some games switched
some
around
change
here
up.
and there. But that's going to be in London, actually. Excuse me.
This
So
game is in London?
this game's in London, 9:30
sick. Then you don't
a.m.
got to worry about Hurricane Ian.
That is true. You don't have to worry about that. I think the Vikings have probably the favorite. I think that the Saints
Lions should have beat him last week.
they should have
be
beat them
honest.
last week. You're right. But I think you look at this situation for the Saints, and you're in a spot now where you really haven't performed offensively so far this year. The defense has played well. With the Vikings bounce really back up. I'm not totally sure. I'm going to say that I think what the heck? I'm going to go with the Saints in this one, 24-20. I think their defense might still give the Vikings fits because they haven't played up to their prominence so far, and I think that's because teams are starting to figure out how to really in-depthly stop the receiving core in the secondary. And with Dalvin Cook banged up, Madison is going to make this offense change more towards the pass, in my opinion. So I think I'm going to go with the Saints to win this one. Jameis might just need to get across the pond and then just not throw
Maybe.
as many interceptions. We'll see.
Maybe. I think there's going to be a little bit of difference, especially with where it's at latitude and longitude wise. I'm gonna say Vikings.
There you go.
I'm gonna stick with our conference boys.
Okay, there you go. Vikings is the pick.
I think Dalvin Cook's probably gonna not have the best game, but I think he'll be doing pretty good. And I mean, Kirk Cousins can toss it around every once in a while.
Yeah, assuming he plays.
Maybe he'll give a good old show for the Brits over there.
Oh, yeah, mate. Here's some real football for you.
Fantastic accent.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Anyway, we're on a 1 o'clock games. Cleveland against Atlanta. This one going to be in Georgia. I'm going to roll with Jacoby Brissett. I'm going to roll with this 8th-ranked defense and this top-notch running attack. Atlanta has struggled stopping the run. I think that's going to be exploited to a T at Atlanta this weekend. I'm going to take the Browns to win this one. I'm going to say this one ends in a little bit lower scoring of a game. I'm going to call 20-17 the final in this one for the Brownies.
Browns 14-10.
Browns 14-10?
Yeah.
There you go.
Browns are just better.
I think so. Anyway, Buffalo at Baltimore. This is going to be a fun one, let me tell you what. This is a tough matchup to predict on paper. Statistically, these teams are both awesome, and this is going to be the game of the week. How it's not Sunday Night Football, I don't know. They should start flexing these more around, but then again, it is Kansas City, Tampa Bay, so it does make sense. But I would take this game as the game of the week over the Rams and the 49ers for Monday Night Football, but that's beyond the point. I think this game's going to come down to the fourth quarter, and right now I trust the Bills. I honestly trust the Bills, and I think that with the way they played last week, I think that we're going to see a much better defensive team, especially down the stretch. Against Lamar Jackson, I really like what Coach McDermott and that defensive staff have done to neutralize some of these really explosive teams so far. So I'm going to take the Bills in this one, and I'm going to take this one in a shootout. I'm going to take a 38-35, the final. Buffalo upsets Baltimore on the road, Joe.
I was going to say, you're going to have a pretty offensive-heavy game here. Baltimore, I don't know. These are the two best quarterbacks in fantasy that are going to be facing off here, which is going to be a pretty sick game, in my opinion. I'm going to go with the – here's the thing, is because I have Lamar Jackson in one of my leagues, and I have Josh Allen in the other one of the leagues.
Ooh,
so
tough.
Yeah, you're telling me. I'm going to – who'd you pick again?
Should I tell you?
Yes.
Okay, fine, the Bills.
Okay, I was going to choose the Bills too.
Okay.
So I just wanted to see if it was going to be a contrarian thing. I'm going to go – no, you know what? Ravens are going to win this one.
There we
Ravens
go.
are going to win this one 40. We'll do 42-35.
Oh, okay. There we
Big
go.
offensive.
Big day offensively. Next game, Dallas against Washington. This one going to be in Arlington, Joe. Are you bold enough? Are you brave enough? Are you the man that will pick the Commanders to upset the Cowboys?
I don't know, man. Cooper Rush looking pretty good.
I'd say the same thing.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cowboys. Probably a little bit low scoring. Washington's going to be low scoring. I'm going to say it's 21-7.
Good pick. I like Dallas as well in this one. I'm going to go 23-13 the final. Dallas beats Washington, who have struggled defensively, statistically one of the worst defenses so far this year. And Cooper Rush has looked formidable, and he looks like he might win them some more games. So let's keep the train rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit against Seattle, you know who we're going to pick. We're drinking the Kool-Aid. It's going to be a powwow at Ford Field. I think that Detroit runs away. I think this is a 2-score game, dude. I really do. I know the injury report. I know people are saying like I'm crazy, but 2-score game. Seattle has not played well on the road.
They just don't know us like we know us.
No, I think this team is going to show up and really show the work they've put in this offseason. There was a blowout earlier this year, if you remember correctly, Joe, 51-29 over at Seattle. This year is going to be different. Revenge game. I don't care who's the starting running back. You can put in Craig Reynolds, and he's still going to run for 100 on this defense. I think the Lions will win this game by 2 scores, and they will be dominant. Yeah. Yes, you heard me right.
I think
even without Amon-Ra, you might even have to just sit them because they're going to be so good. I'm going to speak confidence into this football team.
And really, if you look at it, their defense is not very good. Like people will say, like, "Oh, they held Russ to 16 points." That's because Russ didn't know what to do with the football. Russ was not throwing the ball like he usually does. They give 27 to the Niners, and they give up 27 to the Falcons. Lions are crazy on offense this year.
They're we
don't have Amon-Ra, but like We still have Jamal, who's going to run it down their like he's just going to get probably 4 or 5 yards of carry, so that's no big deal. He runs like he basically is just running for his life, and that's what you want from a running back. You still got Chark, who is not going to be the greatest, but he can kind of hold it down a little bit. I think we're going to be able to pick it up. Not as many points as we usually score. I still think it's going to be like a 21 to 14 or 7. 21 for the Lions. It's going to be 14 or 17 for the Seahawks.
Okay, I'm going to go a little higher, 28-20.
Respect.
Will be my score for that game. I think our defense will stop them in the red zone more than last week. I think that'll be something they work on during pre-week of practice. Chargers traveling to Houston. The winless Houston Texans right now sitting at 0-2-1. And I think this team is definitely not quite there yet. I think that we saw some of their flaws at Chicago last week because they didn't look good and they still beat them. I'm going to go with the Chargers in a bounce back. This team's better than 1-2.
Chargers.
And I think they do it dominant fashion. I think that they win this one. I might be that guy. I might say 37-17, man.
Dang, really that much?
This offense needs a breakout. They need a breakout. They haven't got it yet.
And I think especially with the Texans, that's where it's going to come from. I'm going to say 30 to 10.
Okay, 30-10. There you go. Chicago traveling to the Giants. This is a 2-1 Giants team, Joe, and a 2-1 Bears team, Joe. I don't know who I'm going to pick.
Well, I know who I'm going with.
Okay.
Danny Dimes and the New York Giants are going to win this game.
Oh, man.
I don't know why I say this. It's because it's at MetLife. I think they're going to be doing pretty good. Saquon's back. Saquon's feeling good. Chicago Bears defense is not the greatest. And I think that Justin Fields is just going to have a bad day. Bad day in the office. And I don't know why, but if you let up 20 points against the Texans, you're probably going to give up about 30 for the Giants because they're just going to keep on giving it to Saquon and feeding him. That's going to be it.
Yeah, Khalil Herbert needs to show out against this defensive line, which I think they're going to have problems with. So I'm going to pick the Giants as well, Joe. And I'm going to go in this one a lot lower scoring than you might expect. I'm going to go in this one 17-13. The Giants beat the Bears at home.
All right.
Anyway, Tennessee Titans, Indianapolis Colts, two teams that were tops a year ago and now have fallen into the brink of mediocrity, it seems like, so far this year. Not going to lie. I'm going to go with the Colts. I don't know why. It's just making sense the way that this season's going to start. They're going to lose to the trash teams just like they did last year, and then they're going to beat all the good semi-mediocrity teams so far this early season. So I think this is a prime game that we see Jonathan Taylor bust out, get back on track to that week he had in week 1. And I think that the Colts and Matt Ryan are not going to have to throw the football as much.
I don't know, dude. Pittman's back.
Yeah, Pittman's back, and you saw what that did to their offense. So, despite the Titans beating them last year, give me the Colts in a revenge game. I'm going to go in this one 34-27.
Well, we started out great, Brandon, with our choices, kind of flip-flopping, but we've been doubling up for a lot of them. I think this might be the last one that we might double up on. Yeah. I'm also going to go the Colts, mainly because I think, especially with Pittman being back and sort of not fully healthy, but more healthy than last week, and just with the way Jonathan Taylor, I think, is going to trend in this game, you got to go the Colts.
Okay, there you go.
21-14.
21-14. There's your score. Jacksonville traveling to Philadelphia. Jaguars have won 2 in a row, and the Philadelphia Eagles have won.
All right, let's not kid ourselves here. We
what?
know what it is. It's Eagles by 1,000,000.
Okay.
Eagles 31-7.
Jeez Louise, dog.
Yeah, Urban Meyer might be in Jacksonville anymore, and it actually shows that Trevor Lawrence is good at football, but Eagles, man. Jalen Hurts is just looking scary.
He is looking scary. This is a trap game for the Eagles, but I think they still get it done. I think a final 31-28 in this game. Be careful, Joe, with your bold prediction of score. Be careful.
Don't gotta be careful when I know it's absolute.
Don't gotta be careful
when I know it's absolute. Eagles got it by 1,000,000.
Okay, I know who you're going to pick in this one. Jets at Steelers. Battle of 1 and 2 so far. Teams that we have high expectations for, especially in as far as big playmaking. But both teams didn't show it last week.
That's true.
Just to be honest.
Who are you choosing?
No, I said who are you choosing?
No, who you choosing?
No, who are you choosing?
I chose mine first last time. You go.
Okay, fine. Give me the Steelers. I don't know why. Jets won this last matchup, and I think the Steelers, without Mitchell Trubisky, are a better team, and I like...
Kenny Pickett's going to lead them?
No. I think that they're going to give the ball to Najee Harris 25 times, and he's finally going to have himself a good game. Yeah. Even though I do like the Jets in this one, here's one problem. Zach Wilson's back. I think it's going to mess it up a little bit, not going to lie.
Well, here's the
one small bump in the road.
Here's the one thing that is wrong with your statement.
What?
You're saying the one bad thing is that Zach Wilson's back. The dog is back. Zach Wilson's going to lead him to a big old victory. It's not going to be pretty by any means. Najee Harris will probably run all over him, but it's going to come down to like a last-second thing. Zach Wilson's going to heave it down there and do a little last 2-minute drill, and he's going to win the game. It's going to be 14-7.
Somebody else pick for me, please. I can't take this anymore.
Nah, dude, don't even worry about it.
Oh, my gosh.
Jets are going to win this one.
Steelers 79-7.
Oh, my gosh, no shot. Jets are going to win it.
I can't take this slander right now. The Jets are a good football team, but I think you're being a little over-dramatic right now.
Here's what you're saying. T.J. Watt isn't there. And, like, especially without T.J. Watt, Steelers are not good on defense.
They're not terrible, though, on defense. They're better than the Jets on defense.
Here's the thing, though, is that without him, is like most of they are not the same defense without him.
That's
so
true.
You're going from
they're still better than the Jets.
You're going from an A+ defense when T.J. Watt is there to like a B. Is what it is.
Still better than the B- to C+ Jets.
C's get degrees. I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you?
C's are going to get some
W's
W's
today. This is not
today.
comparison.
W's for Jets. C team W.
Oh my! I can't. Oh my gosh!
21-20.
Steelers
14-7.
win. Steelers
Jets.
win. Okay.
All day.
There you go. Fine. Arizona against Carolina. This is going to be a fun one. I think it's going to be an underrated game. Baker is that dog, Joe.
Yes, sir, he is. He woke up feeling dangerous.
Yeah, just not on Sunday. It's going to be the Cardinals to win this game, and they're going to be dominant. I think they're going to win this one. They're finally going to let Kyler Murray is the person I was trying to speak out of my mouth there. I think that he wins this game, and I think he wins it big, 31-21. Arizona rolls against the Panthers.
See, I want to say yes. I want to agree with you.
Oh, you don't.
But the
stop
thing
right
is,
now. You need to stop.
But the thing
you need to stop.
Baker is just that guy sometimes. And I think that sometime is going to happen now. All right? Kyler Murray, yeah. He is way better than, light years better than Baker Mayfield. But Baker Mayfield's always due for one game. One game where he just becomes the best player in fantasy. But it's not going to be that day. Arizona's going to win this. Arizona's going to win the game.
Almost made me walk out.
Arizona's going to win the game. Probably like 27-10.
Okay.
It's going to be more than 2 scores.
Guys, I almost just got out of my chair and walked out. I'm not even joking. I've never done that before. I put my head on my mic and almost started crying. Oh, Joseph, you got me there, brother. And this is why this show is awesome and you need to subscribe. The Denver Broncos at the Vegas Raiders. I made a deal last week. And as much as I want to pick the Raiders, Joe, I can't. Because I told myself last week I'm going to trust them 3 times. They didn't win me a single game, so I have to go against them until they win a game. So,
well, it's going to be the one game that you don't choose them, eh?
For the love of my man, Brennan Kearney, and the Raider Nation out there, wherever they are, apparently there's something called a worldwide brand or something. They need to win a game. So in order to do that, I'm going to do my part, and I'm going to pick the Denver Broncos because that's just what's going to happen. So I'm going to be the magnet that repels the schedule of the Las Vegas Raiders. So I'm going to pick against them, and they're going to go 14-3, Joe. That's just how it's going to work.
Here's the thing. Denver should not be 2-1 right now.
They should not.
Let's be honest.
They should not. You're right.
They barely beat the Niners.
You're absolutely right.
They got away with the skin of their teeth against the Texans.
Yep.
And they just lost everything that was going on against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
So Raiders are going to kind of roll here.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
They should. They
Raiders
should
will.
roll this game. And that's why I'm going to pick the Broncos so they do that.
They will. Broncos, I mean, I'm glad that we're on the same page. Raiders going to win. I don't know. I like 27, but I've been saying that way too much today. We'll go 31-14.
Oh, okay.
Big game.
I'm going lower. I'm going 17-14 in this one.
I respect.
Don't ask why. It's not going to be pretty. I just have that weird feeling. Anyway, final games here to wrap up the show. We got the Patriots visiting the Packers. Sunday night game. Any love for the Bill Belichick-led New England Patriots?
No.
No?
I don't know why, but Aaron Rodgers just every year, it's like he's finally gonna have a bad team this year. And it's like, nope.
Nope. He's not.
Somehow he just can still pick apart defense. I don't know how.
Yeah.
So Packers are probably gonna win this one. And still, like, the Patriots are 1-2 right now?
Yeah.
Who'd they lose to?
Who they lose to?
The Ravens? Given.
Yep.
They beat the Steelers.
They
But
did.
then they lost to the Dolphins. So
Yes.
there's that.
And they're going to lose to another good team.
Yeah, that is true.
Green Bay.
Patriots just aren't going to be able to do that this time. Green Bay's going to win. In Foxborough, are they?
They are in Lambeau.
Oh, yeah. Well, then Green Bay's got this one.
Yeah, Green Bay's got this one.
Let's be honest here.
I think handily. Give me 28-14.
Ah,
Let's make it generic. Why not?
28-14.
This offense needs some help. New England side.
I'll go 27-10.
Okay, there you go. Final two games. Sunday Night Football. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Chiefs at Buccaneers, Joe. This is a big one, Joe. The Chiefs and the Bucks. The Chiefs and the Bucks. The Chiefs and the Bucks. That's all you have to say.
Leonard Fournette has not been playing too hot.
No, he hasn't.
Brady, the divorce is getting to him. Let's be honest.
Come on.
He is not playing like he should be right now.
No, that is
not
true.
Gonna lie.
That is
I
true.
don't know if it's because of the divorce and stuff, and he's worried that he's going to lose half the money, the house, and the kids. But we'll see how it goes. But you don't perform against the Packers. You don't play well at all. You only beat the Saints by 10 when you should beat them by a lot more, and you only put 19 up against the Cowboys. You're playing against a very good all-round team against one of the greatest minds in football, being Andy Reid. You got Patrick Mahomes, who's probably going to be the next Tom Brady, most likely. You got Juju and Kelsey, who are starting to step up, and actually, Kelsey's actually starting to look really good. Chiefs are going to win this one, probably by 2 scores. It's going to be, I think it'll be, Tampa Bay will kind of get the scoring on track, but Kansas City's just going to run away with it early. They'll probably put up, I'd say probably 28 by the half, I'd say.
Okay.
It'll probably be like 30. We'll do 35-14.
Okay, there you go. I'm counting the differences here to see if we need to make this one split. But I think
I've been pretty hard on the splits before.
I think we have so far. But I think we have
what your heart desires.
Oh man, that's tough for me because it's hard to pick against the Bucks. It really is. But I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go Chiefs. I think that last week they had a really tough game. But offensively, they need to show me some things because
I think so too.
I think this team worries me. This is pretty much a coin flip. Honestly, it's going to be a coin flip. I could see the Buccaneers stalling out and they're going to probably play a little bit of man press and see if they can get the Chiefs receiving core flustered. But I think the Chiefs somehow will probably sneak this one out, revenge game. I've just been on a revenge tear. I think it's kind of been the theme of my picks, so I might as well just go through with it, either win them all or lose them all. So I'm going to go Kansas City. I'm going to go 35-34. What? What did I even just say? I don't know. Just go with it, I guess. Don't turn back. Don't think twice. Just go. There you go.
Respect.
Last game, Rams at Niners, Joe. Monday Night Football.
Rams.
Also go Rams.
All right, sick. Glad we're in agreement.
That was simple enough.
21-10. Rams.
We've made it over. 27-10, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to make it 24-13. Not 14. I don't think I've said that one yet. 24-13.
Respect.
Favor of Matty Stafford.
Matty
Rams.
S.
Matty S. The real Matty Ice.
The real
man.
man.
I just went there.
Yeah.
I just went there. Thank you all for tuning in to this great episode. Been a blast. Me and Joe don't usually get at each other like we did today. Hopefully that was
Usually
enough.
we don't agree on a lot of things, but when we do, man, it's like a bomb got set off or something.
Yeah, it was. I almost left the studio, and I almost left this
never happened
podcast.
before.
It was close. I'm not going to lie. It was close. But we're still here, and we're still going to be back at it with content twice a week, and you can turn into our YouTube, and we'll have some bonus content there, so you can subscribe at the MVSP.
sir.
You can follow that information out on our Linktree, link in bio, social media, and more. And we'll be back at it next Wednesday with another banger of an episode, another banger of an interview, because we create good stuff.
We got good content over here. Subscribe. Do it. Take care, everybody.